Normally they spell my name ASS, and I'm like, that's not even close, you know? Welcome back, Daily Show, 10:06. The Wedge. A lot of good stuff happening. And it's been really cool. We just had Curtis Stevens on and heard about his event that he had, the seminar there. He seems to love everything you guys are doing over there for him, and life's good.
Yeah. He's doing monthly lunch and learns and bringing in people from the community for free advising once a month. So
how'd Entrepreneurship Week go?
Great.
That was a good event. I mean, it was really our first pressure test.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to try these things out, right? They don't just magically happen. So we set about, I don't know, it was probably about a month out.
Yeah.
Like,
pressure test
let's
is
see
appropriate.
if we can do a whole week's worth of activity.
Yeah.
Short notice here. Try to get a good collection of speakers, workshops to support entrepreneurs or those that are running small businesses or those that just need help.
Well,
So,
Scott, how long have you been at the Wedge? Has it almost been a full year now?
for me, it was a full year on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, really
So
cool.
I celebrate 2 holidays during that date. Yeah, I got here a year, and then we are about to basically call our 1-year anniversary on the 7th of April.
Fantastic.
So that we actually, I would say, truly opened our doors for operations. So,
Take me through that year for you. What have you seen and experienced with the Wedge, and also
Yeah.
just with the individuals inside of it too?
yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, it's been a ton of learning for me. I mean, I went from commanding to co-working.
Yeah.
And it's a fun thing to learn. I think it kind of keeps you young, keeps you a little bit vibrant to keep learning in something that might be new to you. I've been working in co-working places all over the world. And so I had a pretty good idea stepping into the job, like, okay, what are the basics of that side of the business? But the innovation center side is the other one that I knew would be a challenge.
Yeah.
And it is a challenge because what you see in the Wedge, I mean, with its 58,000 square feet of just beautiful renovated space, this is a monster facility. Yeah. And I did
get
some
lost
research.
in it pretty easily, I'm sure.
Oh, I did the first 2 weeks. I didn't even know where all the bathrooms were. So I had toilet paper in my arms, like, okay, what needs to be replaced? Because we didn't have a cleaning contract yet.
That's fantastic.
Well, you were a team of one.
It trained a team of one, and then we had Ashton, who's our IT specialist there on contract. So I'll say 2. And of course we had a lot from the Rex Encore family there, the team. If I needed something, they were helping.
Fantastic.
Because we did some pretty big events right before we kind of did the ribbon cutting, and then right after. So we had 2 full days of Tech Week, Tech STL sponsored, and we had probably close to 200 people come in the doors. Meanwhile, we still had construction hats running around, and we're still fixing things and putting doors up and stuff like that. I mean, when you look back, and I dream about it. That's how much I think about it. It is kind of funny to look back and smile and say, "Holy cow, we did all that!"
Yeah,
and just the tiny crew that we had, and we were that manned, just the 2 of us, till the end of May, and then Stephanie came in. And then we're still trying to kind of figure out basic operations, make sure the reservation systems, what are our offerings. But so like any other startup business, it's full of chaos, but you try to get the systems and good foundations as quickly as you can. And I think over that year, that's really what we've been able to do, is get some good foundations underneath us. And not to put light on it, but you guys had a lot of, I feel like, of a magnifying glass on you too. From the public, and I think it's okay to recognize that, because on top of it, it's not just like I'm starting my office space up, and I have my 2,500 square feet, and I'm ready to sign whatever I'm doing. I mean, you guys had a regional lens on you to see how things were going and how quickly things were going. So there's a pressure component of that too. And it seemed like that really never even came on the radar of the Wedge was pressure. It was just getting things going and really becoming a controlled chaos, not just chaos, Is that kind of the idea? Am I right on that thought? Oh yeah. There's that pressure's still there.
Okay.
I mean, I think if you were to look at us, we're ducks with our feet scrambling underneath the water line, right?
I hear you.
But I think it really comes from a source of we care.
Yeah.
We definitely care about this, not only the business, but how this interacts with the community. What kind of impact can this have on the community in the region? And we are starting to see some of the fruits of all the labor we've been putting in. I think a lot of the pressure was, for me, living down in Belleville, I mean, I'm a bit of an outsider here. I'm going to see things differently than the residents do.
Yeah.
Which is both good and bad.
Right.
Because there's some things that I can push the community saying, let me introduce you to something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And I think I would say it's not a mistake, I think I underestimated how much education was required on what is a facility like the Wedge used for.
Yeah.
I knew that I would have to do a lot because we're in a suburban area and you just don't find a whole lot of these in suburban or rural communities.
No, I mean, really, to me, like, that's when I saw, it's like a St. Charles or, to me, that's where I would envision this, over in that portion of the river.
Yep. But we're kind of a bifurcated business. We've got spaces for people just to come on in and work for the day, or if they want to have their own desk, or maybe they do need an office and they're just starting out. They can actually afford to be in a place, and, oh, by the way, they get a ton of amenities while they're there. And we're getting this season, probably not today, I wouldn't go on the roof, but, we're getting to that season, where the weather was great Monday and Tuesday.
It was beautiful up there.
Well, and I really think it ties in so much of what was needed for that area, because now you have a rooftop access, you have some really cool perks for the people that are in there, also, for the community to look at and realize that there's a nice building there that's well maintained. I mean, that's always a good thing. But also with the work, with what's being done inside, because there's a lot of people that are doing and achieving a lot already inside the Wedge, and we've talked about those before, and I think it's really important to know just all the different makings of what gets your guys' wheels kind of moving, each and every morning, because it's a lot. Going into that, how do we help support your 1-year anniversary? What do we need to do?
I think you just need to come over and see it.
That's definitely the start.
Great answer.
If you haven't been in yet, now's your chance, right?
Yeah. Stephanie, came to me and about a month ago and just said, reminding me again, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary birthday. And I'm like, yes, it's been a year. But we should do something. We should do something fun, not only like an event, yes, there will be cake and there will be music and things like that. But what could we do to give back? Because I think you and I have the same mindset, Stephanie, that birthdays are great. Yes, it is a time to celebrate ourselves, but I think for this, we want to celebrate outwardly with the community and see if we can provide some fun events. So so what are the promotions that you said, hey boss, I think we need to do this?
This is not an April Fool's joke. No, I promise you. It is 100% serious. It was a wild idea when I pitched it to Scott, and I was honestly surprised he would do it. But we are offering basically co-working for free for the month of April.
Whoa.
So you want to come try us out, literally. The only thing we are asking is for a donation to the overnight warming centers.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Because they do have an office in our facility. So, as a partner existing.
That's really cool, guys. Not to cut you off, but that is a hell of a deal that you're offering.
Why receive presents when you can give them?
Exactly. Exactly. So. I told you we were going to play the Steve Hartman card.
You are good news. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we're also offering, $100 off the first 3 months of a 12-month office rent. So,
and you have something for everybody too when it comes to office space, right? For the most part. Or?
Well, this is what's unique about. Here we are at this 1-year point. We had most of our small office spaces. I would say like your singles, your doubles, triples. We have a quad. We actually had to build a few more inside because we ran out. In about August, we were full up. And we've been that way until right now. So for the first time in, almost 9 months to a year, we actually have open offices, and we've had people that have been on waiting lists before, and they're like, hey, we don't have anything for like the next 6 months. Well, now's your chance, because we've actually have 2 double offices that have just opened up, and those are $650 a month. And 4 singles, I think, right now.
That's a great price, really.
Well, and that's a gross price, too. You're not paying utilities. You're not paying your internet.
Oh,
you're not,
no.
You also get to use the gym if you want to. You also, there's...
Oh, my God, that's a heck of a deal. Well, because, honestly, if you lease a space, hell, you're going to pay double
and you're stuck in a long-term lease for 2 or 3 years.
Take care of your own building and all that stuff.
And I don't think your landlord's putting on leadership development courses and networking events. And things like that, right? So you got to look at this for the money. There's nothing that compares to this kind of offering in this region.
No.
So
they might paint every once in a while, though.
What's that?
I said they might paint every once in a while. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But no, you're right. And all jokes aside, you really have everything. And for what a business owner would need for support throughout the year, and also just a collaboration, because listen, you can buy a phone list, an email list for $1 million. You'll get 10% of them will be good contacts.
Yeah.
Or you can work in an environment where you really know nobody and start knocking on doors and saying, hey, I'm such and such, like to get to know you more, and here's my business card. I'm sure that happens there, and that's to me where real growth happens, instead of just paying for the CRMSs of the world and every bit of the phone banking you need to try to get you started.
Yeah.
It's really important.
It's a real life LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what we've seen.
I mean, we'd love to have 200-300 members, right? I mean, that'd be great, but the bigger value is kind of what kinds of things and programs that's actually happening within. It's great to have people there because they're interacting with each other, and we're not even forcing it. We're just creating the connections and collisions necessary so that they can all get in a room and maybe listen to an interesting topic or get some small business support. We actually have Vic from Steakhouse, who's actually, he's a venture capitalist. He's coming out on Fridays, every couple Fridays every other week,
Fridays
depending on his schedule. And you can have 30 minutes of his time just to sit down and talk about your particular needs for your business. How do I talk to a banker or VC, or, hey, can you look at my pitch?
What does that even mean?
That's exactly.
I mean, for a lot of people, being serious,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really important, Scott, and I think it's great that there's all those components there. On your screen right now, you see this, the Wedge events that are coming up. Are we?
Yeah, you're in the right place.
Okay, coming up on Monday. I'm so backwards. The Wedge powered by SAE present legal support for small businesses. That is on Mondays, once a month. Is that what we said?
Yep, once a month.
At 3 p.m. Then you have Discover Your Leadership Style. What's this all about?
So Diane Dick, Legacy Training and Development, and the Growth Association, RiverBender Growth Association, we all kind of, actually, I'm gonna say Scott facilitated most of this, so I don't get to take the credit here. But
no, we helped. We all worked on this. So.
But she's a trainer with years and decades of
leadership development
experience.
consultant.
Fantastic.
And she just wanted to help two different organizations, so we just said, why don't we merge RBGA with us, and we'll host it at our location. And so, people can go sign up for her class, and it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, we're talking $10.
Wow.
Well, and we include snacks for that $10 too.
Yeah, and
so come on.
The specific one on the disc for her is this month. I'm a DISC certified consultant as well, and basically, you can get a little bit more pricier assessment, but it's a far more in-depth professional look at who you are, how you communicate, how you communicate with other personalities, whether it be in your management role or your business role, or it might be just your singular role. You kind of want to understand who you are and how are you coming off and how are you interacting with others best. And
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good point, and really having that self-evaluation too is so important. I like that. And it's $12.51 it's all through Eventbrite and all that.
Yeah, it is. It's $10. There is Eventbrite charges us a fee, so we got to just do that. But very reasonable, regardless.
If I would have invented the transaction fee,
I know,
right?
Man,
yeah, we can't get around that one.
No, unfortunately.
But we're trying to put everything out on our website, thewedge.space. If you go to the events tab, you'll see most of what is
We'll go do
happening.
it. We're on the wedge.space right now. I'm getting pretty good at this.
You've been here before, I think.
And I filled in a couple of times. And if you click on events, it takes you right to that Eventbrite link where you'll have the upcoming events. There's a new collections tab as well. Also one coming up on the 15th, and that's protecting our pets in times of disaster. That sounds very interesting.
So just last month, we had disaster preparedness as kind of the monthly discussion. Mm-hmm. But it is something people don't often think about is, let's say there's another flash flood or there's a big fire, whatever. You need to get your pets out, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
So what can you do to at least be thinking about it before bad things happen? What kinds of things do you want candy,
I like this
things
a lot,
like that.
guys.
So
this is really cool.
yeah,
This one's near and dear to my heart as somebody who's obviously an animal lover.
Well, and I just think it's really cool to have different events that, maybe aren't necessarily all focused on business and development,
Correct.
but also just to help ourselves with everyday life too, and just have something to do. I think that's where I think there's a big priceless component to that too.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a monthly series too. So we bring in, Dr. Connie Spurlock from the Office for Community Engagement at SAU. These are community collaboration labs, is what they're coined, and essentially it's a different topic every month, and it usually is something along those lines. We have done programming around the Alton Medical District and seeing what the community sees with the future of that and how we feel about it, and those community inputs are then used to try to develop these things further.
Right.
So it makes your voice be heard. Great space for that.
That's the one fun one we did. Gosh, the time is flying by. It was early last month, was the seed swap.
Oh, yeah.
I bet that was real cool.
I'm physically, unfortunately, I wasn't there. I was out of town, but I saw the photos and talked a little bit out, and it sounded like everybody had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, is this going to be the right space to pull this out? And it worked out great.
Sierra Club said, Christine told me they had the best turnout they've had in years.
Wow.
Everybody really enjoyed the rooftop. I mean, and again, these are food security questions, right? So they still tie into our mission.
Yeah.
Just kind of opens the doors to a little bit different audience.
Absolutely. As we're wrapping up this conversation, Stephanie, final thoughts on the year mark of the Wedge officially being open and
the more we talk about this, CJ, the more I think we've engaged with probably 200 different organizations at this point. We've had probably 500 people in and out of this building in a year.
Wow.
And that's with our team of 3. So I can't imagine, how much bigger we can make this. And I look forward to the next few years for sure.
Absolutely. Scott, final thoughts on the year?
Yeah, it's been an amazing first year. I have to kind of reach out sometimes to way outsiders for them to take a look and get some good, honest feedback, unbiased, and say, what do you think? And I do get pretty consistent feedback from people that watch us from afar, and they're like, I can't believe you've done this much in just a year.
Yeah.
That's just not something you see in a very challenging environment. It's again, we're in a smaller community. We're not in downtown St. Louis trying to do this. However, I'm so thankful that we've had no shortage of people that want to help us, to include our friends that run similar sites in St. Louis. They've all opened their doors to us.
I'm meeting with the community manager from T-Rex tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, so we're not looking at this place as competing with anything else in the country. We want to be unique, and I do believe we are. And this is a long play.
Yeah.
This isn't going to measure us by 1 year and, okay, we're either successful or we're not. To my mind, I'm looking at 5 years, 10 years. That's where we need to keep continuing to stare at the vision of how do we build to that point. So 2026, we definitely are off to a good start, and we're going to be running the rest of the year, but we got some great ideas and some new capabilities that are going to be on site in just the next quarter.
Really cool.
More to come.
Stay tuned. We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com, 1024. We'll take a quick break. Happy 1 year birthday.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll come back and chat it up with Lacey McDonald as she takes us back 100 years next.